This block here was horrible. We have a different solution, a contrast to see how when their development does their total gut and why you want to do a total gut. The historic buildings in West Baltimore, great Monday and happy Memorial Day. How you doing, Maria? Can you hear me?
Hey, King. I'm great. Thank you.
I want to thank you for your
yes, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you well. Absolutely, yes. I want to thank you for your investment of time and energy with joining me today. So I definitely appreciate that. So one of the things we like to do when we one of the things we want to do when we get started is I like to ask a key question to kind of really set the context, and that is, on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being life sucks to 10 being life is awesome, what would you say your spiritual energy number is currently right now?
Oh, gosh, this is a tricky one. You know, I have both an explosion. I'm just checking. I saw that it disconnected. Can you hear me and see me okay?
I can, yeah, you kind of buffering on your voice, but I can see you well now. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. Yeah, so yes, I can.
Yeah, so what would you say your spiritual energy number is? 0 to 10?
Yeah, so I think there's a lag, so let's try to do this as best as possible. But it's a really interesting question, and I often and more recently have been talking about this with both my therapist and my executive coach. And I have been on the path of awareness, I'll say, for the past 7 years, and my journey continues. Stage of my current is the my and I feel like I'm in the stage of life where I have become hyper aware of myself, of others, and my environment more than ever before. And I almost feel like I've digressed, but actually it's not that I've digressed. It's the fact that I'm so much more aware than before, that I'm noticing things about myself and how I exist in the world, that is making it feel like I'm going backwards. So I would actually say, you know, I'm definitely not at 10. I think it takes a lifetime to reach 10. But maybe like 6 or 7, I feel like there's a lot more that this journey has to offer. And so there's a lot more work to be done. And if anyone thinks that they've reached number 10, 10 scale, maybe they're not as aware as they think they are.
Well, I definitely appreciate you taking the time to answer that question. And it's more so about, it's a dynamic number. It depends on how you feel during the day. So it's not necessarily you reach that point and there's no more journey to go through the rest of your life. But definitely thank you for answering that question. And I just kind of really want to go ahead and get into things. So just make sure that I understand correctly, and as well as my listening audience. You pronounce your last name for us, please?
Yes. So my name is Maria Velkova, and I'm a managing partner of Tabula Rasa Ventures, which is an early stage company acceleration fund that operates in the healthcare space, and specifically in healthcare innovation.
Excellent. Thank you for that. So Maria, we get right into it. So my first question I love to ask folks, especially someone like yourself who has a higher purpose for what they do in your life. What do you see as your purpose in life?
Yeah, that's a great question as well, and I think I'm still trying to fully purposes. Actually, ever felt more aligned to my purpose than I ever have before. And what I usually say is that my purpose is to help others find their purpose. Um, but of course, that has a lot of layers to it. But really, I've been on this journey of awakening and consciousness exploration, and it has truly transformed my life. And I see others, and I remember how I used to be so stuck and so lost. And the impact that this journey has had in my life, I really want to bring that to others. So that's why I always say my purpose is to help others find their purpose.
Excellent, excellent. Now, another key important question that I just want to ask you to set the context to really let folks really connect with you and resonate with you is, what would you say you're most grateful for in your life?
What am I most grateful for in my life? Well, the last month has been quite intense. There were quite a few health scares for myself, my father, and honestly, the only answer that I have to this question is health. Um, the health, my personal health, the health of the people who I care about, and this is why I am really dedicating my expertise and my life and my time to help improve health for all of humanity, and not just patch symptoms of diseases and manage disease, but truly create a system, a healthcare system that focuses on health, optimizing and preserving that health.
Excellent, excellent. And how is your father doing?
Sorry, what was that?
How is your father doing? I know you. It
Oh
was a
no,
health.
he's well. It was a heart attack scare, but actually, it wasn't that at all. Much more manageable diagnosis. So he's well. He was in the hospital for 3 days, but he's back home and doing so. He's doing so well. He mowed the lawn, and no one could stop him.
That's great. That's great to hear. So I'm thankful for that. Definitely, definitely. Now, what would you say are three behavior traits that best describe who you are as an individual, as a conscious leader?
Yeah. So the first thing that comes to my mind is unrelentless passion. I've always been the kind of person that either does something 110% or I don't pick it up at all. But the things that I do focus my energy on, I do everything possible to achieve them. And I really feel connected to those things, not only through the intention of achieving a goal, but also through passion, like alignment with my spirit and soul. And like, I feel like the things that I do in life and I choose to spend my time on, I feel like I put my soul into it, not just my time and effort. Um,
Excellent.
Another trait is the ability to constantly evolve, change, transform. This has definitely been an attribute that I've developed over the last couple of years and I'm still working on. But, in my previous corporate job, they used to call me the feedback queen because I would really, really listen to people's feedback. I'm aware that, no one is perfect, but everyone has the capacity to grow and transform and improve and change. So I definitely pride myself in not just saying that I'll do something, but actually doing it in terms of self-improvement. And thirdly, I I'm a very social person, so I really prioritize community and connection to others, and really truly being in a mind state that really listens to others and really understands what they care about, what they're passionate about, what their challenges are, and really being there for others. For example, every time I meet a new person, my brain is already connecting dots how I can be of service to that person and bring value to their life, because I can't imagine of anything that brings bigger happiness than being of service of others and truly making an impact on someone's life without having, an expectation for getting something in return.
Love that. Love that. We're definitely in alignment there for sure. And so, with that being said, and you talk about creating service and being of service to others, I want to kind of get into shifting over to your company. And so, I'm curious to know, it's like a two-part question. What inspired you to co-create Tabula Rasa Ventures, as well as what's the mission of that? Talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So my previous professional life, I was working in corporate. I was consulting with a lot of the big pharma names. I left that space, and my initial catalyst for starting an investment firm was that I saw a lot of investing in healthcare that was almost like herd mentality. Investors didn't take the time to truly understand, and it is complex. That's goes without saying, but a lot of money was being channeled unconsciously. So basically, oh, this guy invested, so I will invest. But why are you investing? Because someone else invested, rather than really truly understanding what you're investing in. Of course, this is a generalization, but I noticed that a lot in the space that I was operating at in healthcare and drug development. Um, However, as I joined my business partner and started the firm, my intention for doing this work shifted and transformed. Again, going back to what I said last, is like I get the greatest pleasure and happiness in life through helping others. And we are a standard C firm in respects, but also the way we work with companies is that we add value not only through capital, but also we work for 3 to 6 months with our portfolio companies, like really rolling our sleeves up and hands on to add value outside of just capital, even if it's helping founding teams manage their mental health, like even to that level, not just transactional and tangible business value, but also personal value and support, and really being in support. Our main goal is whoever we cross roads with, to leave them with a positive feeling, even if it was someone unpleasant or not values aligned. But the number one rule for us is always be kind, no matter what the circumstance, because you never know what someone is going through and how they're projecting that fear and pain.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those are great values to have. And,
Yeah.
you're a type of company that definitely, I believe, other leaders can model their company after, as far as thinking that way and being emotionally intelligent to understand your clients and your customers, what their needs, as well as the different businesses that you help. Like you said, mental health is definitely something that's critical, particularly at this particular. We see that more now than ever before in our lives. How mental health, the lack thereof, is causing problems. So I think that's definitely important. And then being mindful enough to be cognizant of the mental health of the individual businesses that you all help finance and helping them navigate. Because I know as an entrepreneur, speaking for myself, that the uncertainty of, I tell folks that one thing for sure, uncertainty is your best friend as an entrepreneur, because that's what's constant in your life, as you go through that journey. Now, talking about some other things you've achieved in your life, because you're also a great creator, the manager and founder of several different other initiatives. And one in particular that I want you to kind of describe, because this is the first time I heard of it. I want to get much more information on it. What is the medical psychedelic house of Davos? Am I pronouncing
Yeah.
that correctly?
Davos, yes.
Davos. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so maybe a tiny bit of backdrop on Tabula Rasa Ventures, and because it's relevant to that. But we started in 2018 at the very inception of the medical psychedelic space. A lot of our work to date has been in the medical psychedelics space, but as I was saying earlier, our mission is to rebuild healthcare. So not just mental health, but starting with mental health. And back in 2018, there were only 3 companies that operated in the space, so it didn't make sense to do a fund. But we started building this. So we built the first global incubator, worked with early stage companies, and helped capitalize a lot of deals. But outside of that, we really leaned into the educational aspect. There's a lot of stigma with psychedelics from historically, and it was, and even with mental health alone. So for us, it was pertinent to really educate what the potential and the value of these therapeutics could be. So we started doing a conference. It was during COVID in 2021. And that conference grew to the largest global conference on psychedelics. We had 1 million viewers last year. And that was the first time we had our in-person component, which was at Davos alongside the World Economic Forum. It was the first time that there was a platform to speak about psychedelic therapeutics. And it was a pretty big deal. A lot of people were very shocked that, this was finally on such a global and important stage where world leaders who make the decisions on how the world operates have the opportunity to learn about this space. We brought around 50 or even more of the top global experts on psychedelic medicine, um, ranging from every different vertical: science and medicine, science and research, clinics and medicine, investment, entrepreneurs, for-profit companies, non-profit companies. We even brought indigenous leaders. Um, Psychedelics are nothing new. They are a novel, ancient technology, as I say sometimes. They have been used in indigenous cultures for over 7,000 years, probably even longer. And we have evidence to show that. And for us, it was important to really represent holistically the space, because unlike any other industry, and specifically in healthcare, where my biggest experience lies, I have never seen a space that's so collaborative. And it's a space that is very diverse as well. And voices are lifted, every voice is lifted. And that is truly incredible. And outside of, just the obvious education on psychedelic therapeutics, their potential, where we stand, it really demonstrates what is possible when people collaborate and really come together and support each other to build a novel industry, and how far we can get. It's truly fascinating and incredible how much has been achieved in the past 2-3 years. And the space is still young and it has a ton to grow, but it's absolutely fascinating how far we have gotten in these short 3 years since the inception of it as an industry, really. Private capital started flowing in 2017-18, and that's what I'm referring to. But of course, there's been research dating back to the 50s and 60s, the indigenous use for thousands of years. But I don't think that this fast transformation would have been possible without collaboration that I'm mentioning.
That's definitely something that I need to get more information on. But I love how you talk about it, and you're right. I can see how, from an indigenous context, that those practices have been in place, but now they're becoming more common. And our Western medical society, I think, is key and it's important. And then you're at the forefront of helping make that happen. And I'm just curious to know, because you mentioned passion a couple of times. I'm just curious to know, what is your passion about shaping the future of healthcare comes from?
Yeah. I spent over a decade working in drug development and pharma, and I've seen that there's so many inefficiencies in our healthcare system. There's misaligned incentives. Um, it's just so broken, super fragmented, very non-transparent, and I just feel like we can do it better. The expenditure on healthcare is immense, and that system has served us very, very well up until now. Life expectancy has increased tremendously. Birth rates and survival rates of newborn children has improved significantly, and that would not have been possible without the system that we have built. But I think that there is a global shift in perspective of what health truly means, and the current system is built really around disease management, which is important. And I don't think that in any recent time we're going to eradicate the need for managing disease. That would be incredible, but we have some decades, maybe centuries to get there. But I truly believe that we can build a much more efficient and effective system in that focuses on disease prevention, health optimization, including an elongating health span, and really our passion and mission and intention of working in the space is to create or support and invest in companies that are building the building blocks of this future system that's truly focused on health. And a lot of these individual aspects are already in motion. However, one thing that's really missing is glue between them. How do you take, IV drip clinics? How do you take holistic health? How do you take acupuncture and breath work and gyms and mental health care? How do you turn these things into preventative health within a system? Because when these things are systematized, it allows for insurance and reimbursement. It allows for a clear path to how these things can be used to optimize health and improve health.
Excellent, excellent. And we're getting near the top of the hour, and I respect for your time. I just want to ask you one more last question to really get a better understanding of how individuals who are listening can connect with you and work with you. What do you look for in either strategic partners and potential companies you're going to invest in? What characteristics are you looking for from those companies and potential partnerships as well?
Yeah. Again, as I mentioned, collaboration can lift mountains, really. Collaboration and coordination. For us, we're always open to speaking to other individuals who are mission and values aligned into improving and building this future of a future system that focuses on health. We love and are always always open to meeting any founders and entrepreneurs who are working on the intersection of health and innovation. Investors and entrepreneurs both who are really passionate about investing in a conscious way, in prioritizing impact alongside bottom lines. I think both are definitely possible to achieve. You just have to put your intention in that direction. We're really happy connecting with leaders and regulators and global leaders in terms of governments who are passionate about improving healthcare, and investors as well. I mentioned that already. We're still actively raising for a fund, and I really think that a lot more capital in general, whether it's through our firm, personal investment or through any other firm, a lot more capital is needed to flow into the space to make it a reality. So channeling that capital consciously into founders and builders who are aligned to creating impact for as many patients or people as possible are always in demand, and it would be awesome and always happy to meet people with these intentions.
Excellent, excellent. Well, as we go ahead and wrap the show up, I would love for you to share your contact information that you have for folks to reach out and connect with you and just get in touch with you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy for you to share my email. Basically, it's maria@ventures. You can see that now here. There. The spelling of it. But yeah, feel free to reach out. I'm excited to meet your audience and have awesome conversations about the future of health.
Well, thank you, Maria. This is definitely, again, appreciate your time and investment and energy with joining me today. For those who are listening, I'm going to definitely, when we put this out there for the replay, we'll make sure we have Maria's contact information in the actual chat description as well as the show description. So with that being said, I want to wish everyone a wonderful remaining rest of their Memorial Day weekend. Maria, you continue to do the great work you do. I look forward to hopefully building with you in the future and doing some great collaborative efforts. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, King. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.